Right, so this is the Oregon PowerNow saw. What I have is a branch that I already cleaned up yesterday using one of the other saws. And even though these saws have like 12 to 14 inch bars on there, we're really not trying to cut logs at that length. We're really, a lot of these things, 3 to 6 inches is the stuff you want to cut with these. Under 3 inches, there's reasons you want to reach into something to cut with it, but when we start getting with smaller wood, it wants to whip back and forth with the chain action, and then you might as well just use clippers or loppers. But this type of cutting is optimum for a small chainsaw. And if you're you're a homeowner, you need to trim your tree, or you're just kind of fixing up an area. This is the area. I don't own land here, but this is kind of a survival retreat place. So we pitch in and fix it up. And part of what I do is we want to make this woods a little more livable, these trees a little more productive. But we're going for a part production and part landscape type of trim on these trees. So we'll get down to the cutting, and I'll show you the Oregon saw versus the Greenworks saw as far as the cutting goes. Now with electric saws, you don't have the same power that you get out of a gas saw. The other thing is the Greenworks saw is more or less ambidextrous. The Oregon saw, because of the positioning of the safety device on the trigger, it's kind of right hand use only, but using a chainsaw is a two-hand operation no matter what. So with the electric saw, you need to hold off and get the chain going before you make a cut, and then set it on. And of course, whenever we're cutting something like this, again, if you have a lot of surplus power with a gas saw, you can cut like this. With these saws, you really want to be close. Even though there's no bucking bar, we want to brace against the body of the saw when possible without beating it up too badly. If we run into a problem, just let up on the trigger, and that's that. The Oregon saw also has a chain brake that meets some OSHA and safety standards, but is a little bit more relevant to gas-powered saws, which can stay running when you let up on the trigger, as opposed to the electric saw. So we'll make a couple of cuts here, show how it cuts. It's not as fast or powerful as a gas saw, but it's pretty good. This is hard apple wood. When I press him really hard, it will slow the saw down, but remember, this is a saw that has a lot of extra teeth on a chain compared to the Greenworks saw. So next, we're going to use the Greenworks saw for the final few cuts. It's a little more ambidextrous, so I can use this one left-handed. It's got a shorter chain, but again, we're mainly just using this section of chain, and we're using the length of the chain to make sure that we've got fresh cutting blades, fresh cutting links on our wood as we go through. But this is about optimum for this size of chainsaw. So again, we get it going. No need for hearing protection. It's just not a very loud saw. We get it going before we contact the material, make sure the saw gets up to full speed. So there you can see two cuts with the Greenworks saw. It's slower because there's less cutting teeth, and I think the motor's a little bit less powerful too. I've been told by some other people that I should expect more battery life out of the Greenworks saw, but as far as work productivity goes, I think we're getting less cutting done, but you can see how the difference in time, and don't forget, you're talking about a pretty significant price difference on the two saws too.